Today, I will be ranking every single shotgun throughout all of Fortnite's history. From Chapter 1 to Chapter 6 Season 3, no shotgun will be left unranked. I want to start off by saying that all of my rankings of these shotguns are purely my opinion. No variations, exotics, or mythics will be included in this list. Variations, for example, meaning the OG pump or the modular combat. Each variation of every shotgun will be grouped into one. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe to the channel. I'm only 163 subscribers away from 1,000, which I'm trying to get to by August 7th before Season 5 of OG comes out. It's gonna be close, but I think we can do it if every person that watches subscribes, so please subscribe. Now on to the rankings. Coming in at the 35th spot, easily in dead last, we have the makeshift shotgun. This is a shotgun that was added in Chapter 2 Season 6, the dreaded Primal season. While I didn't think the season was honestly as bad as people made it out to be, I have to admit that this shotgun was the weakest we have ever seen in the game, especially still to this day. To be fair though, this shotgun wasn't really meant to be used often. Since crafting was added, you were expected to use this shotgun in the early game to survive long enough to be able to upgrade it into a normal pump. So the gun being bad was a design of the game, so while the idea is nice and the concept is there, playing with this shotgun was terrible. It had an insanely slow reload time, a small mag, the fire rate was awful, and on top of that, minimal damage. Coming in at the 34th spot, we unfortunately have a very recent shotgun that was added at the start of Chapter 6, the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun. Already the name of this shotgun clickbaits us into thinking this shotgun is going to be some rapid fire burst shotgun, but this shotgun provides the exact opposite. The fire rate on this gun for an auto shotgun is terrible. Its damage is only good if you have the gold variant, its reload time is atrocious knowing how slow it shoots, and for some reason it uses up 2 of your shells for 1 shot, like that somehow makes it unique because it's a twin fire shotgun. Easily the worst auto shotgun of all time. Coming in at number 33 is the Pump and Dump. Technically, this is a mix of an SMG and shotgun, but I figured I'd include it just because I knew it wasn't going to make any insane strides on the list. The Pump and Dump in concept is really cool and it was fun playing with it on release, but when other shotguns and SMGs are in the game, there's really no point of ever wanting to pick up the Pump and Dump. If you want the shotgun to be effective at all, you have to be right up in your opponent's face, and at that rate you could have already shot them with a regular shotgun and swapped to a stronger SMG to finish it off. Coming in 32nd place, we have the Ranger Shotgun. Now, the Ranger shotgun in and of itself isn't a terrible weapon. It's a high risk, high reward shotgun. If you hit your shot, you have a high chance of finishing off your opponent with an SMG, or if you're lucky, you can take them out with a headshot. However, if you miss, your opponent has a free opening to just make whatever move they want. And if you're already in their box or finding a sweat, you might be cooked before you even get to reload, despite how surprisingly fast the gun reloads. There are just better, more safer options. At 31st place, we have the Oni shotgun. The Oni shotgun is basically just a nerfed Ranger but with 2 bullets and a slower reload time. Comparing the Oni and the Ranger, at least with the Oni you have 2 bullets and a second chance at life if you miss your first shot. The Oni also has a unique horizontal crosshair, meaning you don't have to be as accurate as you would have to be with the Ranger to hit your shot. Coming in at number 30, we have the Wood Stake shotgun. This shotgun is interesting. It was added in Chapter 4 during Fortnite Mares in Season 4 as a play on Kato Thorn being a vampire and that wood stakes are the best way to kill vampires. The gun acted like a slug, just shooting out one precise bullet to deal a lot of damage even at a semi-medium range. The main problem with this gun is that you'll never have first shot accuracy with it. When you jump, it becomes way less accurate, it only has 4 bullets, and it takes a long time to reload. Not terrible, but there are better options if you want to use this playstyle. In 29th place, we have the Heavy Shotgun, more specifically the slug version of it. Now I know I said I wouldn't combine variations of guns in this ranking, but this version of the Heavy Shotgun works fundamentally different than how the OG one did. And don't worry, that one is on the list too. The Heavy Shotgun slug is basically just the wood stake shotgun but better in every way possible. It has more bullets, it's more accurate when jumping, you get first shot accuracy with it, and it reloads slug by slug instead of being like a mag type reload for the wood stake. At 28, we have the Dragon's Breath shotgun. When fire physics were in the game, this shotgun was much more viable than it would be nowadays. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would just carry this shotgun around in their inventory, not as a shotgun but as a way to just set things on fire. Despite having 4 bullets, this shotgun only shot once before forcing you to wait through a long reload. This shotgun was also very close range. If you even wanted to get 100 damage off, you had to be in their box basically. It wasn't very powerful and took a lot of risk an effort to use, so it's more useful for its effect than as a shotgun itself. For 27th place, we got the double barrel shotgun. This was the shotgun that was meant to replace the double pump, and let's just say it did not quite meet that bar at all. The damage it did unless you were right in front of your opponent was minimal, and the shots took way too long in between shots to resemble anything like the double pump. Still though, it beats out the Dragon's Breath for having an extra bullet. Coming in at number 26, we had the Outlaw shotgun, a recent shotgun that was added in chapter 6. Unlike the Dragon's Breath or double barrel, this shotgun was way more forgiving with the distance and had 2 actually powerful shots as well as a faster reload time, making it the go-to for a 2-shell shotgun. Speaking of 2-shell shotguns, not to be confused with the 2-shot shotguns, we have just that, the 2-shot shotgun at 25th place. In my opinion, this is a very underrated shotgun. It was effective at a pretty decent range, not typical for shotguns. It wasn't just 2 shots and you had to reload, you could actually shoot 2 shots and swap back to it later without having to worry. If you hit 2 good shots on your opponent, this shotgun would melt, but it's a little bit more skill based since you have to track your opponent while shooting to get 2 clean shots off that tank their health. One good pull of the trigger from this thing and the person you're fighting is low and retreating. You can spray SMG and when the time is right, swap back to the 2-shot and finish it. In 24th place, we have the Primal shotgun. Now if you actually remember back to chapter 2 season 6, people were actually saying that this shotgun was a little OP. This shotgun, much like the 2-shot, was a burst shotgun as well. However, it shot faster and required you to be less accurate with it. It was more spammy, allowing you to potentially finish your opponent off without even having to swap to SMG to pressure or spray. Coming in at 23rd place, we have the Prime shotgun, which might actually be the most mid but viable, easy to use shotgun in the game. Its gimmick is that its first shell, if reloaded all the way, would deal extra damage. That being said though, the gun wasn't really that powerful and it would show, especially if you didn't have the first prime shot. It reloaded too slow, making it harder to get that powerful shot if you've been in a long fight. The upside though is that it has a very quick pullout time. At number 22, we have the Maven shotgun. Introduced in chapter 4 season 1, there isn't a lot to say about it, it's basically just a nerfed version of the basic tactical shotgun. At 21st place, we have the Evo Chrome shotgun. Now this shotgun is for sure the most unique shotgun we've ever got in Fortnite. Its crosshair is completely horizontal, it upgraded as you dealt damage, and it was a fast shooting shotgun. Upon picking this weapon up, you'll probably assume just by the crosshair that it's bad, but if you actually give this thing a chance, it can be pretty good. It deals more damage than you would assume, has more than enough shells, and a fast reload. Always the same accuracy too, no matter the action. At 20, we have the Auto shotgun. Now when this shotgun was first released in chapter 3 season 1, it was for sure the worst shotgun we've ever got up to that point, even worse than the makeshift shotgun. Luckily though, Epic did buff the shotgun meta later on that season and throughout chapter 3, so nowadays this gun is actually usable and quite good. It deals a lot of damage, it's not too insanely close range, and it has a big crosshair making aiming easy. The only downside is that it takes a very long time to reload, and of course it's an auto shotgun, which are most of the time overshadowed by guns like the pump shotgun, you know, the non-tactical shotgun type. Coming in at 19, we have the ACP Scatter Blaster, the shotgun that served as a tactical shotgun in the Star Wars season in chapter 6. I'll be honest, I didn't play much of that season, but when I did, I got my fair taste of this gun, and while it's not anything crazy, it's definitely not a bad weapon. At 18, we have the Combat Shotgun. This is the first shotgun to ever replace the pump back in season 9, so at the start, Epic definitely made it a little bit overpowered, which they did eventually change. The combat we have in the game nowadays is nothing like it was back in the day, but due to its precise crosshair, fire speed, long range ability, and shell amount, this shotgun is easily the best so far in terms of fast shooting shotguns. Even with their nerfs, it can still hit some pretty gnarly clips, and if you manage to get a headshot, just one more quick body shot and it could be over. For number 17, we have the Frenzy Auto shotgun. It shoots slightly slower than the combat, but does way more damage and has a wider crosshair, so it's easier to hit opponents. It's not as far range as the combat, but as it is a shotgun, most fights will likely take place pretty close, so the Frenzy Auto just beats the combat for me. In 16th place is the OG Heavy shotgun, the non-shell version. This shotgun is basically just like if every bullet on the prime shotgun was the first prime shot and at least purple rarity. But for the heavy shotgun, that's just its basic rarity and it keeps getting better. In 15th place, we have the Bram S12 Scatter Blaster. Once again, I didn't really play much of the Star Wars season, but I got enough to get a feel of the gun, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was actually a pretty powerful gun. This gun stood as a replacement for the pump shotgun, and I think it fit the role really good. It had a good pull-up time, range, and damage. The only downside was that you couldn't shoot for a while after the first shot, but who does that anyway? For number 14, we have the Sovereign shotgun, which I think is a pretty underrated shotgun. It can be used basically as a pump and a tactical shotgun. It's got this sort of dynamic accuracy that when you aim with it, you deal more damage, especially from a range, but if you shoot from the hip, it can be used as attack, and I think it does enough damage to be considered as a pump sometimes too. It also reloads pretty quick, and the only downside is that you have to be accurate. It's easy to scheme your shots, but as long as you're accurate, it's a very rewarding shotgun. At number 13, we have the second shotgun to ever replace the pump shotgun, the charge shotgun. I think this shotgun kind of is overlooked nowadays, especially if it's in a loot pool with other hard-hitting shotguns. But if you use the charge right, time your shots, or go for predictions, this shotgun can annihilate. Definitely a skill-based weapon. At number 12, we have the Infiltrator shotgun. Honestly, just a really basic but solid shotgun, great with range, hits hard enough to be good, and has a quick pull-out time. In 11th place is the lever shotgun. Now I know a lot of people actually don't like this shotgun, and I've never really understood why. Back when it was added, I used it over the pump and it still performed really well. I still use it in creative and it's not bad at all. Shoots fast, decent with range, big crosshair, only downside is it takes a long time to reload. Now moving on to the top 10, I have the Striker in 10th place. The Striker is just a better, higher damage version of the Infiltrator basically. Again, at the start of chapter 3 it was pretty bad, but when they buffed the shotgun meta later on, it can compete with other shotguns pretty well. In 9th place we have the Sharp Tooth shotgun. This shotgun has always been weird considering it has the same model as the purple and gold pump. It basically does work as the same as a normal pump, but just with a little more range, less damage, and less bullets. Just basically a nerfed version of the pump. Coming in at 8th place we have the Thunder shotgun. This shotgun is like a slower pump with a slower pull-up time, but if you hit your shot head on, this thing can deal a lot of damage even with just a normal body shot. Downside is it takes a long time to reload and has a horizontal crosshair that makes hitting precise shots a little harder. At 7th place we have the Drum shotgun. This shotgun is obviously notorious for being a very spammy shotgun, but even though that's right, it works really well if you get a jump on your opponent. If you're in your opponent's box and you surprise them with a drum shotgun before they realize it, you would likely get that kill in the bag, no SMG needed. Coming in at 6th place we have the good old tactical shotgun. Fast fire rate, fast damage, fast reload time, fast pullout time, just a very good overall auto shotgun. In 5th place for the best auto shotgun, however, we have the Gatekeeper shotgun. It's an improvement over the TAC in exchange for bullets, but if you have the extra ammo attachment, this thing is ruthless. It does more damage, hits hard at long ranges, and shoots faster. In 4th place we have the Hammer Pump. This thing is basically just a pump that deals less damage in exchange for better range. Not bad at all, but not the go-to for most. In 3rd place we have the Pump Shotgun. The Pump Shotgun in creative I feel like is the most commonly used shotgun, and it's easy to see why. The Pump Shotgun doesn't really have any issues, it's just overall a basic but powerful shotgun. In 2nd place we have the Sentinel shotgun. Now it feels to me the Sentinel is just a more precise, faster pump. It basically does the same damage but has a faster pull-up time and makes long-range attacks easier without exchange for lower damage. Finally, in 1st place we have the Havoc shotgun. Since being introduced in Chapter 4 Season 2, the Fortnite community has been split on which shotgun is better, the Pump or Havoc, and personally I have to lean Havoc. The Havoc shotgun just has better range and more damage than the Pump. Even just that little change makes all the difference in determining it. While I do believe that the Pump is the perfect shotgun, the Havoc I think is just objectively the best shotgun in the game, at least for me. And that does it. That concludes the list. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Help me get to my goal of 1,000 by August 7th. Be greatly appreciated. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought below, what your ranking is, what you think I got wrong or right. If I missed any shotguns, I don't think I did, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Peace out.